Yo, what's up? What's up? What y'all doing? Gonna show y'all how to make your first beat in FL. I'm also gonna be showing you how to record in a different video probably, but best way to start off with making your first beat is by getting a loop. So when you get a loop, all you do is you get your loop, and you drag it in what's called the playlist. All right. You drag it in the playlist. Now, the four things you're going to be using when you make loops, uh, uh, these four buttons. The playlist, this is the playlist, the piano roll, where you, where the piano roll is, this channel rack, and the mixer. Those are the four buttons you're going to be using. So, step by step, you have your BPM of your loop that you're using. This is where you set your BPM. Also, make sure all these knobs are turned off, by the way. All 10 of these buttons, I turn them off. You set it to 162. You double click your loop. Opens up this window. This trim knob, turn that all the way up. All the trim knob does is get rid of the empty space at the ends of your loops so that they're perfectly synced. Now, when you get sent loops, the way how they work is you get the full melody, your first 8 bars. 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice how we end at 9 because it's 8 bars. And then the 9th bar starts at 9, but it's 8 bars. And then the instruments of your sounds are stemmed out. And normally at the end, there might be a tag. So to get the individual sounds, it's the BPM, not 162. There we go. 161. All right. So the way how it works, you press C to your slice tool. You're going to cut the beginning of every single sound. Just the beginning of every single sound. And then the prod tech, I don't need. Now you're going to delete the beginning and drag all of these to the beginning just by left clicking. All right. Now you're going to cut the ends of this by clicking C, holding shift as you do it, cutting the tails off. Now this sound here is a little different. It has a little, don't worry about this. So now that you have your thing stemmed out, you're gonna click this little piano and this opens up your patterns. So all your drum sounds are gonna go in a pattern. All your loops, or when you make melodies, it all goes in a pattern. So you're gonna open up your channel rack. Your channel rack is where the sound goes to, or where you put all your sounds. So I put it on all so I can see everything. The loop, you're gonna send it to number 1. You're just gonna click and swipe, drag up. You're gonna set it to 1. And what this is if we go to the mixer, this is where the mixer is. It's getting sent to insert 1. So all your sounds are gonna go into the channel rack, get sent in the mixer, and through the master. all your sounds and to actually play your sounds. So let's say we're going to start off with a clap. So all your drum sounds, let's say I get this clap, a clap like this. We're going to send it to a new mixer because that's where they all go. You're going to open up the piano roll. Now, the middle note of the piano is C5. That's where most of your drum sounds are going to be at. Your claps, your hi-hats, your open hats, that's normally where they go. Except 808s, they vary. You place a clap. Now, you just click and bop wherever. This is a normal 8-clap pattern. Notice where the lines are, where they're placed. This is the normal 8-bar pattern. Now, when you place a clap, the easiest way to do it, there's 4 boxes on the grids. You place one and then on the third one. So the first line, the second line, third. You're now going to hold control, left click on the number 2, drag it all the way to the left, control C and control B. And then spam it. Now you have all your prods. And since I'm cool, I'm adding an extra one. So that's how you get your sounds to play. All right. And they're being played in the pattern. So all your sounds go to the channel rack and are played through the pattern on the playlist. And the actual audio gets sent to the mixer. So I'm going to up the velocity by Control A, Alt, and scroll wheel up. You see these little things at the bottom moving? That's the velocity. And it made it louder, so we're going to go into the mixer and turn it down. You can also turn it down through the channel rack. I do it through the mixer. You should do it through the channel rack. By the way. The other clap. We're going to add another drum sound. We're going to click, get a hi-hat, drag it into our channel rack, send it to a new mixer, to a new insert in the mixer. Now we're going to swap by clicking this button, go to our hi-hat in the same pattern. Now you could place hi-hats. All I did, C for the slicer tool, slice it in half. So once you get a hi-hat pattern place, whatever it can be, it could be anything. I'm going to use a little hi-hat trick. You press Control U when you highlight, or Alt U if you want to go more chopped. And then you mess with time multiplier. So small roll. And we're going to do our tactic. We're going to Control, left click, drag, and Control B. So that's how you get drum patterns. Send them to the mix, and your 808. Get an 808 with all your sounds. By the way, I do with most of my sounds. Turn loop points off. Go to trim. Turn your trim knob all the way up, especially for 808s. For 808s, you turn it up. Turn the trim knob up. You're going to go to this little triangle. You're going to make it look like a square. You're going to turn the attack down, the decay down, the sustain down, and the release down, and the hold all the way up. Everything else down except for the hold. This is so you have full control of the 808. So when it stops, it stops. Now I'm going to do a little sauce with my 808. I'm going to turn this EQ knob up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Remember, we sent it to number 4 on the inserts. We swap. Go here. And you have your 808. Notice how it's really short because we have full control. Extend it as long as we want. So by the way, I'm going to just do this real quick. If you're adding effects on your 808s, on a melody or anything, you open up your mixer, you click the insert that you want to add it to. So if you want to add effect on the hi-hat, your hi-hat's on track number whatever you sent it to. Then you go to slots, you left click, and then you have all these effects you can put on it. So I'm going to put something on my melody. I'm going to left click where the melody is being sent. Go to slot 1. I'm going to get an EQ. So now that we have our 808, I can add a pattern. Also, by the way, again, C, hold shift as you snip, and you just snip. And P for the pencil. Same pattern. Hold control, left click, drag, control B. Now you have your pattern. I'm gonna add a little more sauce. So let's say you have all your drum patterns done, all your melody done. It's all gonna be in one pattern. This is where all your patterns are. You're gonna right click your pattern where all your drum sounds are and hit split by channel. That is the wrong fucking button. You're gonna hit split by channel. Control highlight is where you drag them in. You will control left click. You could drag them all in like that, or you can do this. They're all just stacked on top of each other when you do export it, or when you split by channel. They're all on top of each other. Now, Control B tactic highlight by hitting Control left click or using this tool. Highlight Control B. I'm not going to use this sound till later. I'm going to move it off to the side. I'll highlight all this. I'm at a low intro. And now you can arrange it however you want. You could take certain parts of this melody out for certain parts, bring them back in. I'm going to take out the hi-hat for this part after the chorus. I'm going to take out this sound. Bring this sound in for the verse. Then I'm going to highlight the chorus. Control beat. Also going to cut off all the sounds here so we signaling. Alright. Outro. So when you arrange, you got to imagine someone's getting on this. You have an 8-bar intro, 16-bar chorus, 16-bar verse, and the chorus back again, 8-bar outro. Really simple, really short, around 1:30. Shorter than that sometimes, depending on your BPM. You have structured the whole beat. You added your drum sounds. Mixing wise, mastering wise, you're going to go to your master. You can use a master preset. I recommend just soft clipper. You're going to click a slot, any slot, more plugins. Get it to load, type in soft clipper at the bottom. Soft clipper. Leave it, don't touch it. This is what it should look like after you have this. Don't touch any of these knobs, just X out of it. And this is how I do all of my beats. You can see in the original with my loop. This is what it sounds like. It's a little more complicated. Yeah, it was 3:16 in the morning. Remember, making beats, it's a process. It might not be as fast, understand it as well, but you'll get there. All my beats, I make them the same. Soloing these out. If we go to our channel rack, this bell is a sound sent it to track 1. It's being sent here. Put some effects on it. Put effects on it. Second sound, put in the channel rack. Sent it to insert 2. Got effects on it. It's all the same. Same way I make all my beats. You add a VST, you add your drum sounds, whatever. You send it to somewhere in the insert. Normally goes from 1 to 20. The way how I do it sometimes. I start with the melody. Melody goes on to like 10. Doesn't matter how many pieces of melody you have. And then drums, they start after. Just send them to an insert that isn't extremely high. Like 50. Something normal. Then you have You place them all, you highlight, drag it all, and then you would structure upon there. You would structure. But this is the full structured beat. You add pauses, you add effects, whatever you want, and you got a full beat. This is just the start of FL. You'll learn how to automate stuff, how automation works. You can make some stuff, things of that nature. If you need any sounds, Reddit has a lot of good drum kits, leaked drum kits, kits for beats, leaked drum kits everywhere. Make melodies, loops that sound like this. But all these 4 buttons are going to be what you're flipping through the most. You won't have to really use anything else. This is a metronome. If you need to keep things on beat. It's completely unscripted, by the way. So like if bouncing back and forth, it's kind of yeah. So if you want to add any VSTs, you hit the plus in your channel rack because this is where all your sounds go. You click a VST. All VSTs are different. You go to their presets, click a preset. You guys send it to an insert. Go to your piano roll, and you could place notes, extend them. You can make whatever. Just all your sounds go there. You want to add any sounds. If you want to delete any sounds, you click the right click on your VST. And you hit delete. If you want to swap any sounds out, let's say you drag a sound in here, you want to swap it out for a different one, you could click it. You gotta make sure it's highlighted, and you could click the sound you want to swap it with, press enter, swap it out that way, or you can drag it over it. You can do it that way. Turn off loop points, turn up trim, make your graph for your 808. I don't care what 808, sub, bass, whatever. It's always gonna look like that. It's always gonna look like that. It's always gonna look like that. You make whatever pattern. Make a pattern. I think that's pretty much it. If I miss anything, you got any personal questions to ask me, let me know. Got you. Might be a follow up. I don't know. I'm tired as fuck.